morning, or perhaps it's twilight. In every rotation of the wheels, a pause is created. We move forward. The scenery at the side of the road shifts from the long shadows of trees to an endless horizon. Sometimes we see other vehicles in a hurry, or those who choose to drive slowly. Everyone has their own destination, their own pace. This is Kilometer Insight, a space to slow down, to give room to your thoughts amidst the unceasing momentum of life. A physical journey is often a mirror of the internal one. Both require patience and the ability to accept what lies ahead. Often, while moving on the road, we find ourselves caught in the flow. A traffic light that refuses to turn green, or a toll booth that suddenly stalls. In our daily lives, it's the email that goes unanswered, or a project held up, not because of us, but because someone else isn't ready. These small situations, seemingly trivial, can spark something inside. Frustration, a hint of resentment. Why aren't they moving faster? Why hasn't that message been replied to? It's as if there is an unwritten promise that everything should go according to our expectations, following the rhythm we've set. Yet, the highway teaches us that every vehicle has its own driver. Every person has their own reason for driving at a certain speed or for turning in a different direction. We may never know their reasons, and therein lies the challenge. In the silence of a moving cabin, I am sometimes accompanied by other voices, the voices of those trying to untangle the complexities of living. Lately, one voice has stayed with me, from a book titled The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. It isn't an instant mantra, nor a promise of a life without problems. It's more of an invitation, a perspective to re-examine how we interact with the world around us, especially with what lies outside our control. This book doesn't try to change the external world. Instead, it gives us the tools to change the world within ourselves. There are a few thoughts from this book that resonate deeply, and somehow they feel perfectly aligned with the experience of a long journey. The first idea, and perhaps the most fundamental, is what we might call radical acceptance. It is the idea of letting other people think, feel, and act according to their own ways. Imagine you're in the left lane, and another vehicle, for some reason, decides to slow down drastically right in front of you. Or someone behind you honks impatiently. Our first instinct might be annoyance or a desire to react. Why are they like this? What is their problem? The let them theory invites us to take a deep breath and say internally, let them. Let them slow down. Let them honk. Let them think I'm too slow or too fast or whatever is on their mind. This isn't about being powerless. It's about acknowledging a simple fact. We have no control over the behaviors, thoughts, or emotions of others, just as we cannot control the weather or the traffic volume. When we try to control the uncontrollable, we only create friction within ourselves. We waste precious energy on a battle we can never win. Have I ever felt frustrated because a meeting was rescheduled at the last minute because of one person? Of course, but I've learned to say, let them be late. It doesn't mean I agree with it, but I stop letting their lateness ruin my focus. The energy I save by not fighting reality can be used for my own work. The road teaches us this clearly. You can't yell at the car in front of you to change their mind. You can only control your response. Will you stay frustrated or calmly find another way? This leads to the second idea, the conservation of mental energy. Our energy, physical and mental, is a finite resource.
Every time we let ourselves get worked up over things we can't change, we are draining our mental fuel tank. Think about a long drive. If you constantly slam on the gas and the brakes aggressively, the engine tires faster and the fuel disappears. Our minds work the same way. If we are constantly braking for anger or accelerating into worry because of others, we end up emotionally exhausted. The theory asks us, is this worth my energy? Is obsessing over a negative comment or a broken promise worth the fuel I'm burning? Let them think that, or let them break their word. When we do this, paradoxically, we feel stronger. We protect ourselves from unnecessary burnout. Lastly, and most importantly, is the shift in focus. After we say, let them, to what is outside our control, the next step is to say, let me. This isn't about being passive. It's about taking back control of what we can influence, our reactions, our boundaries, and our own actions. When I see a car with blinding high beams, I can't control that driver, but I can control my response. I can slow down. I can look away for a moment. I can flip my rear-view mirror. In life, this means let them disrespect my time, but let me set a boundary so it doesn't happen again. Or let them have a negative opinion of me, but let me focus on the people who see my value. The let them theory is ultimately about empowerment. By letting go of the futile struggle to control others, we free ourselves to invest in our own path, to build boundaries that protect our peace, and to move forward in the healthiest way possible. There is a specific moment during a long drive when even the music begins to feel like noise. You find yourself reaching for the dial and turning it off. Suddenly, there is only the rhythmic hum of the tires against the asphalt and the soft hiss of the wind against the glass. It is here, in this silence, that we usually begin to argue with ourselves. We revisit the past, rehearsing words we should have said, or replaying the actions of others that hurt us. We carry those people with us in the passenger seat, even when they aren't there. The let them theory is actually preparing us for this very silence. Choosing to let go of control does not mean we have stopped caring. On the contrary, it is the highest form of care we can offer to our own peace of mind. When we stop trying to direct the scripts of everyone else's lives, we suddenly find an immense amount of space opening up inside our own heads. This empty space might feel strange at first, or even a little haunting. Without the anger, without the urge to fix or control, who are we? In this journey, I've realized that when I stop worrying about how everyone else is driving, I start to notice the small things I had previously overlooked. The subtle gradient of the sky as it shifts, the patterns of the cracks in the road, the steady, quiet strength of my own hands on the steering wheel. Often, we are so busy being the director of everyone else's movie that we forget to be the audience of our own journey. Letting them be, allowing them to be exactly who they are, is our ticket to finally returning home to our calmest selves. It turns out the weight that has been making us so tired isn't the distance of the journey. It's the effort of trying to carry everyone else's baggage on top of our own vehicle. Imagine how much lighter the car feels now. Imagine the momentum we can gain now that those heavy burdens have been left by the side of the road. The journey continues, and in every kilometer passed, there is a lesson. It's not about changing the direction of the wind, but about how we steer our own sail. Perhaps the next time you find yourself frustrated by something outside your control, you can pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what can I let happen without letting it disturb me? And then, what will I choose to do for myself? May your journey, both on the road and within your soul, always find a moment for reflection and a hard-earned peace. If any thoughts crossed your mind during this drive, or if you have an experience to share, the comments below are always open.